glory, and your children sing your praise. You are worthy, so deserving.
He's not as big as yours, though, I don't think.
Well, hello, it's Pastor Steve, and it's time for another edition of From the Get-Go, God in the Great Outdoors. Today, I'm coming to you from beautiful Lee Creek near Natural Dam, Arkansas. It is a beautiful day. It was 108 2 days ago. It's low 90s, but about 90% humidity, I think, today, and no wind. But as you can see from the surroundings, Lee Creek is just a beautiful place to be. Love to fish here.
And I love wade fishing the streams of the Ozarks and the Washtenaws in search of smallmouth bass. There's not much better than catching brownies on light and ultralight tackle. It doesn't even matter if they're not very big. They're just a ball to catch, and they always put up a great fight, especially when there's a little bit of flow, a little bit of current. Well, it looks like Andrew caught a pretty nice one over there next to me. Not giant, but a good one for the Lee Creek in this area. And you know, one of the benefits of fishing these small streams is you never know for sure what you're going to catch. Every now and then you get something like this beautiful long-ear sunfish, full of color. Just a beautiful gift of God's creation. And while smallmouth bass may be my intended target when I come to the creeks, I enjoy catching other species that are available, spotted bass and occasional largemouth bass, a variety of sunfish, such as bluegills, rock bass, and the ever-abundant green sunfish, which can be a hard fighter and is pretty in its own way. See what I mean? My favorite baits on the creeks are 16th ounce jig head and small finesse jigs like the ones in this picture.
You know, as I'm wading through this creek, I'm reminded of the refreshing grace of God, and how God's grace comes like a flowing river to a parched and dry land. Today I want to talk to you about God's grace, and you know, when I'm hearing this river, I think about the very headwaters of the river where this water starts flowing down, and I'm reminded that that water starts flowing before I even get here to the creek, and it greets me here. I'm experiencing this water here now, but it started way long time ago up the headwaters of the creek. And it reminds me of something that we call in the Wesleyan tradition prevenient grace. Prevenient grace. Prevenient comes from a Latin term which means to come before. Grace is a free gift. Prevenient grace is the free gift of God that comes before we even know that God has given us grace. So before we're even aware of God, God is aware of us and loves us. In Jeremiah 1, God tells the prophet, I knew you in the womb before I formed you. I knew you and I loved you. God knows us before we know God. And God loves us before we are able to love Him. And He draws us or woos us. He pursues us. And that's the prevenient grace. It's the things that we can look back on in our lives and see where God was pulling us to Him. And it's kind of like this creek water. It starts way before we get to this point. But God is already at work in our lives. Prevenient grace, wooing us, drawing us, loving us, to come to a point of realizing our need for God, realizing God's love for us, and giving us an opportunity to respond to that love.
So as you watch me catch or try to catch another fish here at the end of this video, here's what I want you to know. God has been pouring out prevenient grace to you since before you were born, in hopes that you would come to know that He loves you, that He desires a relationship with you, and that He offers you a life that is full of abundant joy and peace. Gifts God offers through His Son, Jesus Christ.
I want to thank you for being with me today on From the get-go, God in the Great Outdoors, I'm Pastor Steve Porch, and may God's blessings be with you from the get-go.